Right, this meeting will surely be a test for the ANC's Integrity Committee. We're joined on the line by its chairperson, George Mashamba. You remember he replaced another struggle stalwart of the party, Andrew Mlangeni, a few months ago. Well, let's talk to Mr. Mashamba. Mr. Mashamba, good morning to you. So, first of all, what would be your immediate action against the VBS culprits?
And not against them, but the immediate action is for the Integrity Commission to meet. We'll be meeting on Thursday to look into the matter, and then after we consider the matter, maybe we'll have to talk with the people who are implicated in the whole thing.
Mr. Mashamba, does your committee have the power to take any decisions beyond making recommendations?
Like every other commissions report to their principals. We report to the ANC, NEC. We make recommendations, suggestions, make proposals.
All right. And you and I will know that in the recent past, you have had, or let's say your previous leadership has made recommendations, and in particular against former President Jacob Zuma. Those recommendations were simply pushed aside by the leadership at the time. Do you think you are the right structure to deal with such matters?
The thing is that when we don't just simply deal with the people who are implicated in things that are untoward. The main function of the commission actually is to make sure that the ANC, to nurture the members of the ANC to an extent where the ANC will have integrity on its own right and have the society look up to it for direction and so on. That's why when these things happen, we also get involved, but involved in order to feed the information to the people who are properly elected to give the future of the organization. Because when all is said and done, they are the ones who are accountable to the membership of the ANC. We are accountable to the NEC. And what has happened in the past, I don't think it needs necessarily to happen forever in the organization.
All right, so when you say what's happened in the past may not necessarily happen now going into the future, talk to me then about the powers that this newly constituted commission has. Does it have any power at all at the moment?
It's not a question of power, man. And it's not a question of a commission. What's a commission? I mean, if you even go to Parliament, the commission makes recommendations to Parliament. Who takes who must implement? It's Parliament, it's executive. The commission may press on, but if there's nothing happens. For example, if you look into the question of the public protector, ultimately the people that implement is the Parliament and the Constitutional Court. On their own shouldn't have done anything. Could have spoken until the cats come home. So the commission is accountable to its principal, and our principal is the NEC, and we present our decision, our findings as effectively as possible as possible. But when all is said and done, it's the organization that must take the necessary steps.
At the recent conference of the party, it was decided, the resolution was taken that you are going to be given more teeth as a committee within the ANC, particularly because you are dealing with wayward members who have brought the party into disrepute. Those terms of reference, Mr. Mashamba, when are they going to be finalized, and what is it that is going to give you perhaps more power? Because you keep saying that it's not about power. What then is it that is going to make people believe in this commission?
What will make people believe in this commission is the impact on the ANC when it will have members who will not, as you put it, will not become wayward in their behavior. And that is done by making sure that the values and the principles that inform the ANC historically are actually internalized by the members of the organization. It's not a question of having a policeman who goes out of line and then you whip him and so on. Obviously, it's some things people go out of line. We have got the disciplinary committee in the ANC of beside the commission who deal with matters of discipline.
In your view, just as a final question to you, in your view, should these members who are allegedly implicated in this VBS saga have been simply taken straight to the party's disciplinary channels?
The matter has been referred to the committee that is meeting on Wednesday to look into the matter. And if the committee decides that the matter should be referred to the disciplinary committee, referred there.
So, in other words, you're saying your commission will be the one that refers this matter to the disciplinary committee of the party. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. And that's what the terms of reference say, which were adopted in the last NEC. It's not long that they were adopted.
But these allegations are quite grave for the party, Mr. Mashamba. Shouldn't this matter have been taken straight to the party's disciplinary committee, as opposed to a structure that still has to recommend and work through the allegations?
But I mean, every structure, every organization has got its own processes. So it will be taken there if the structure so decides. I can't say now because we haven't met yet. Like I'm saying, we're going to meet on Wednesday.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. That was the ANC's head of the Integrity Commission. That's George Mashamba talking to us from Polokwane. Well,